Scott Martin here on the shores of Lake Okeechobee, dishing out some of my favorite fishing tips for you guys. You know, I think about worm weights. There's so many different shapes and sizes, but typically I start with the simple things. A bullet weight, like I have here in my hand. These are all bullet weights. And this is what I'm going to use when I'm Texas rig fishing, I'm flipping, pretty much any type of worm fishing. I'm going to fish a bullet style weight. Now, how do you pick the right size of bullet weight to use? Simply put, I like to match it to the size of bait I'm fishing. Fishing a 10-inch worm here, like I like to throw here on Lake Okeechobee a lot, I'm going to match this up with a nice size weight. You know, probably the smallest weight I'm going to throw, is an 1/8 ounce. And probably the biggest weight I'm going to throw on that 10-inch worm is up to probably about a 3/8. That's a 3/8 weight. That's the range that I'm going to use when I'm fishing a big giant 10-inch worm like this. An 1/8 ounce up to a 3/8. And how I'm going to dictate that is based on the wind. If it's real windy out, guys, I'm going to fish a heavier weight. If it's real calm and everything's real quiet, I'm going to fish a lighter weight. You can get away with a light weight, you're going to catch more fish. Now, when I move over to my flipping baits, like this creature bait here, I had this Bruiser Crazy Craw, I'm going to flip this. I'm going to flip it with a little bit heavier weight. That's when I'm going to get into my 1/2 ounce and my 3/4 ounce weights that we have here. Here's a 1/2 ounce, here's a 3/4, here's a 1 ounce. And again, I'm going to match that weight to the density of the cover that I'm flipping that bait in. If it's real sparse grass, like here behind me, the lily pads, I'm going to fish a 1/2 ounce. If I'm flipping in a mat of grass where I've got to penetrate down through it, I'm going to get up to that 3/4 ounce size, the 1 ounce size, even 1.5 ounces, depending how thick it is. Again, I'm not going to throw an 1/8 ounce weight on this particular bait, or even a 1/4. I'm going to fish those heavier weights when I'm flipping it. Take a very popular style, Senko style bait like this, little do-nothing worm. I'm not going to fish a big heavy weight on this. I'm going to fish it weightless or with one of these really small weights. That's a little 1/32 ounce weight right there. And about as heavy as I'll go is maybe an 1/8 ounce that you see there. So I'm going to match that worm weight to that worm right there, keeping it kind of small, you know? I want that thing to kind of glide down through the water real slow. So picking the right size weight is very important. But again, here's the biggest part of it. If it's windy, go a little bit heavier. If it's dead calm and slick out, go a little bit lighter. Have some fun with it. Keep it simple and pay attention to what's going on around you. And before you get off the channel today, guys, be sure to subscribe down below to our channel, the Scott Martin Challenge and the Fish Hound channel. Hey, also check out, you want to talk about worm fishing, check out the video in the page on how to pick the right color of plastic worms. See you guys.